What's up, guys? It's Shy Gemini, and I'm coming back to you with another recap of Your Husband is Cheating on Us. Again, season 1, episode 6. Nothing really special to me going on, even though JD decided to make this big move, but it still wasn't super exciting to me. But basically, the episode was centered around Jermaine and Jermaine being able to come through and learn his lines and be ready for the show. And the show is actually less than 2 weeks. So they've been practicing. Leah is going over her lines, and Tandy is in the room with her, and they're talking about Jermaine, wondering if he's been studying, he's been practicing. He hadn't been in the house. Nobody know where he is. So their concern is, I hope wherever he is, he's practicing and going over his lines because he's the main character. Again, he's the main character, and he needs to know his lines because if he mess up, chances are he'll mess everybody around him up. So he has to get it together. So he finally does pop up, and they meet at the theater. And again, they're there to practice and make sure they have everything together. Pretty much everybody is off book. Kristen, Deatra, Tandy, Leah, they're off book. They're wondering if Jermaine is finally off book. Well, he actually proves to them that he is off book. He actually went home to get some, I guess, a long time and really focus and learn his lines. So he was off script, and I think they were really only going over the first act. So they were cool with him knowing the first act, but they're like, okay, do you know the second act? So I got pretty much through this episode that he did go ahead and learn all the lines for the entire play. He still was struggling as far as getting the right emotions conveyed, but at least he learned the lines. So again, so they're practicing. JD dismisses everybody else but Jermaine. And now JD feels like he can focus more on Jermaine since he sees now that he is really serious about learning the role. He's done it. So now he takes up 2 hours, 2 extra hours to work with him. And this seems to make Jermaine happy because that's all he talked about during the entire season is he needs JD to come and actually have a one-on-one with him and help him learn this character because he doesn't know who it is. So the cast are at the house and they're practicing again, going over their lines. So everybody's now feeling confident that they got it in the bag. Everybody knows their line. Everybody's off book. So we need a night out. We need time to relax our mind. So they go to a karaoke bar. You can tell that they had been there for a while and they were really feeling those drinks because they looked drunk, like super drunk. And then they started doing karaoke and you could pretty much tell that they were definitely drunk. Leah goes first and she does this gospel song and I'm like, I kind of hate when people go to a karaoke like setting in the bar and they start singing gospel songs. Like, I don't want to feel guilty listening to this nice gospel song. I love gospel. I do. But I don't want to feel guilty listening to Never Would Have Made It while I'm taking these shots. You know what I mean? So, can you pick another song? It ain't got to be nothing nasty if you ain't into that. Just pick another song. But don't pick the gospel songs, please. So then, Deatra sings, and Lord have mercy. I don't know what Deatra be doing sometimes with her voice. She has a nice voice. I remember her from the plays. But when she does that, it drives me crazy. She sounds like a cat stuck in like some pipes or something. She sounded awful. And then she was trying to dance. You could tell she was feeling herself. She was feeling them drinks. Them drinks was definitely hitting. Kristen did her little song, and then Jermaine also. Drunk boots. I don't care what nobody say. They were drunk. So they're sitting down talking, and all of a sudden, Leah and Deatra are really playing nice. Like they're complimenting each other on their singing and laughing and giggling and kicking. And they panned the camera to Tandy, and Tandy was looking like she was not feeling that. You know, she can't stand Deatra. But I'm like, at this point, Tandy, what are you still mad about? Why do you have this attitude towards Deatra? She really hasn't been acting crazy lately. So what is your issue? I don't know. I don't think it's jealousy, but she was definitely side eyeing her, and she was saying, you know, Leah's her friend, and I guess she wants to look out for Leah and make sure that Deatra ain't on no BS. But as Leah and Deatra both explained several times, they have children in common, and since Diamond has a nice relationship with Leah, Deatra wants to make sure she respects Diamond's wishes. So she's trying to actually get along with her. And I don't feel like it's not being genuine. Again, I'll say Deatra is special. But I feel like for her daughter, she is definitely trying to take the step. So why are you mad? Maybe you need a storyline, maybe, because we really haven't seen anything out of you outside of Genuine. Now, you did mention your daughter. You were going home, so you could be there for when she starts school. But I'm trying to figure out why you still holding the grudge. Like you, Kristen and Jermaine, Deatra really hasn't been doing anything unless we're gonna see down the road. I see next week for the previews that you guys are actually like they're trying to stop you all from fighting. So we'll see what happens because Deatra can turn it on and turn it off like a light switch. So we'll see. But so Kristen, Leah and Deatra are sitting down in this area, their little area, get ready to go over lines again and practice. And Kristen looks at her phone and sees this text. Basically, JD has texted all of them to tell them that he's revised the play, and he pretty much revised like 60% of the play. Now, JD, I understand as a director, you have that right to change things, and sometimes when you're in your creative bubble or whatever, something may not necessarily seem right, and you want to change it and kind of tweak it. But to tweak it 68 pages, like in the show is in less than 2 weeks, are you kidding me? You already had a hard enough time getting this cast to get off book. Jermaine, you remember Jermaine, right? The person that is the main character that struggled, that just got off book. You really gonna flip it and give him more lines to learn or change up some of the wording that he's learned already? Like, I don't feel like that's smart. Of course, everybody's annoyed. Like, man, we already struggled to get through this point to this point. Now you're going to change it up on us? Like, that's just crazy. Jermaine calls and he's going off. Like, I'm done. I don't want to deal with this no more. You know Jermaine. He'll shut down in a second. So, this is not good. So, when he came home, they're talking about it again. And I thought this scene was funny because they were doing their little fake church moment where they praying and hollering, hooping and hollering, like, you know, how we black folks do in church. And Kristen was looking so uncomfortable because I'm sure she's not used to that at all. But it was funny to see. When JD comes over, he texts Kristen to come down, to tell the group to come downstairs. Kristen got some balls all of a sudden and texted him and said, no, you come to us. And I'm like, are you kidding me, Kristen? That's your boss. Like, he's paying you. Are you out your damn mind? You gonna text the director and say no? And she was going back and forth, like, being stubborn, like, I'm not coming downstairs. We're not coming downstairs. We're staying up here. And Deatra, Leah, and Jermaine were like, oh, shit, like, we ain't, like, what? Deatra mainly was like, look, he's the director. This is his play. We cannot do that. He's housing us, paying us. Like, are you kidding me? You can't be doing that. You can't be texting him talking about no. Kristen tried to stand on it, but when she saw that they were actually agreeing with Deatra and they were forming their own united front, she had nothing else to do but give in because she didn't want to look bad. She didn't want to look like the oddball out. Tanya wasn't there. Tanya may have stood with her, but you never know. So as soon as they come downstairs, though, I guess they have had JD waiting too long because he was leaving. And and they followed him outside And JD hit him with the "I'm good, love, enjoy." He walked out. I'm like, you don't piss off the director. Are y'all crazy? And like I said, I get it. It's frustrating that he changed a big, huge chunk of the play. But y'all don't do that. So he left. They decide to try another rehearsal with JD. JD comes back. When he gets there, it's tension. You can tell everybody's annoyed and upset. Jermaine is basically, you could tell he's shutting down. He's over it again. And he tells JD this is not professional and he's not used to this. They started going back and forth, and Jermaine decided in the middle of JD talking that he was going to go outside and have a cigarette. When he comes back, you know, JD was like, okay, you ready? And he was like, no, I need a moment, JD, like fall back. But, you know, JD didn't appreciate that at all. He did not appreciate that. And he said Jermaine's energy is not good for him. And I'm like, you on thin ice, boy. You already know you're on thin ice. And he said he understands that people are frustrated, but it is what it is. Listen, Leah says she's frustrated. She's like mentally just like exhausted, but she's a professional. She's gonna go whatever JD does. And from what she said in her confessionals, it seems like JD does this a lot. He'll change the script in a minute. So she's already used to it. So it is what it is. The cast goes out to dinner, and again, Tandy's not back. And JD's saying what Jermaine is saying what JD did was a lack of respect for them. And I guess so. I guess you could look at it like that, because you put more pressure on them and then you expect them to give this A1 performance, but you now add something on in less than 2 weeks. So, but I guess they're going to still try to go through with it. They get up the next day to start going over our lines, and JD comes to the house. He tells them to get ready. He's taking them somewhere. He has a car for them. I don't know if they were going to the theater that they normally rehearse at or somewhere else, but basically get in the car. But he tells Jermaine, you stay your ass here. So I'm like, I knew the writing was on the wall when he said that. So they're talking, and JD says he's getting uncomfortable around Jermaine. You know, Jermaine is not cooperating. He may be a good actor or whatever, but his character, he's questioning his character. And he doesn't feel like Jermaine owns up to any responsibility. So he basically said he doesn't know if they can go on with Jermaine. And then he fired him. He fired him just like that. And I'm like, okay. So Jermaine was like, fuck it, whatever. It seemed like he was relieved that he let him go. Like, yes, I wanted to get fired anyway. So Jermaine went upstairs, told them he gone. JD kicked him out. Kristen's upset because, of course, he's like an ally to her. They're close in age. Deatra's a little too happy to me. I'm like, why are you happy about this boy getting fired? She was too happy, but, you know, Jermaine's gone. He's out to play. He talked himself out to play. I knew it was going to happen. I was wondering why it was taking this long, to be honest. Especially considering it took him so long to actually learn the script. But JD said he had enough. I see both sides, honestly. I see what JD means about Jermaine, but I see what Jermaine is saying about the lack of respect when you change up the lines like that. It's hard. I've been in little petty plays, and I had this much line, and I still struggled. So to learn an entire play and make sure you're off script, I'm sure it's pretty hard. Jermaine, that's what you were called to do. So if you couldn't handle it, you shouldn't have did it. But anyway, y'all, that's the end of the episode. To me, even though that happened with him getting fired, I still wasn't like blown away by this episode. So, but that's it, y'all. I will talk to you again soon. Like the video, share, subscribe, hit that bell so that whenever I drop a video, you're notified. You can watch it right away, just like that. All right, guys. Talk to you soon.